I just spent my entire weekend trying to find a Pokemon that I thought I'd be able to find in a couple of hours. Pokemon just released an event that includes mass outbreaks of Wooper with the increased chance of finding one with the absent-minded mark, which, looking at him, makes a lot of sense. I figured this would be a great opportunity to find a shiny Wooper with a cool mark and maybe make a short out of it or something. Well, unfortunately, my attempts to find one flew so far off the rails that now I'm making a full-length video about it instead. What started as something to do just to waste a little bit of time turned into a 2-day-long ordeal just to see some differently colored pixels with a slightly different name. Let me walk you through it. As I said previously, this event allows for special outbreaks of Johto form Wooper to spawn around Kitakami, with a 5% chance of having the absent-minded mark. Now, normally, it wouldn't be very hard to find the mark. In fact, I got it on a regular form Wooper on only my second try, but where it gets a little weird is trying to find a shiny Wooper with the mark. During a mass outbreak, after feigning 60 Wooper, your odds at a shiny are 3 in 4,096, or 1 in roughly 1,365, or 1 in about 820 if you're using the shiny charm, which I am. If you staple some bread, 4 whole cucumbers, and some herba mystica to the side of that, it gets you to as low as 1 in 520. The chances for Wooper to have the absent-minded mark during this outbreak are 5%. So if my math is correct, which it often isn't, if I catch 20 shiny Wooper, one of them should be stupid. Which at the rate you see wild spawns in Scarlet and Violet is pretty good. Hardly cause for any concern, right? Right? Well, I wish I could say that was true, but apparently I'm either cursed or I just don't know what a Wooper looks like. Because while the first shiny I did see was a Wooper about 7 minutes into my sandwich, the second and several after that were, well, they were not. After finding my first shiny Wooper without any marks, I wandered a little too far over and phased on a shiny Nosepass almost instantly, which at the time wasn't really cause for concern. I had found my first Wooper so fast that it wasn't a big deal. I even named it Wooper because I thought it was funny. That was until I found this. I was up to 3 shiny Wooper at this point, with only 1 having any sort of mark to speak of. Again, still wasn't totally worried. It's very likely to just find wild shinies in these games, especially with how many encounters you see and having the shiny charm. I just thought it was a little odd. That was until very strange things started to happen to me on my 3rd water sparkling power sandwich.
Hort. Range.
Now, last time I checked, Mudbray, Nosepass, and Nosepass are not water types. Now, I have been wrong before, but I'm like really sure they're not water type. What had seemed to be a fluke before had started to slowly become a real problem. Even when doing what I could to maximize the amount of Wooper I saw, I was finding literally anything but shiny Wooper. I had as many other shinies as I had shiny Wooper at this point in the hunt. So I deposited all my Wooper, and I kept on going. Surely the chances of phasing another time were improbable, which turned out to be partially true. Because I phased 2 more times on Sandslash and Gligar. Again, these are, as of recording this video, ground-type Pokemon.
Fish.
My luck had been just so foul up to this point that I just had to pick up shop and go hunt somewhere else. I ended up moving from Paradise Barrens to Apple Hills. Sure, there would still be other Pokemon spawning, but at least they were definitely not water types, or so I thought, at least. Even without phasing for the next 2 hours, I still didn't find what I wanted. Not a single one of the Woopers I found during my time at Apple Hills was even marked, and I was finding Wooper much slower than what I thought was efficient. I was now almost an entire day into hunting a Pokemon that I thought was just supposed to make a quick short out of. I was running out of it is what it is, and it'd be like that, so I turned in for the night and decided to give it another shot tomorrow at a different location. I began the second day of this hunt hot off the heels of, whatever the hell that was. I was in way too deep now to give in, so I got straight back to work. By the way, have you ever heard of the sunk cost fallacy? Of all the spawns I was given today, I decided to hunt down here by the entrance to Kitakami. It's pretty vast and flat, and the grass is a bit shorter than the stuff at Apple Hills, or at least it seemed that way, which helped me move a little faster. I still had to deal with other wild Pokemon, especially Illumise, who's still down here. I just want to put this thing in my hand and you know? But I am extremely relieved to say I wouldn't phase on anything other than Wooper for the rest of the challenge, so maybe that's a good omen. I made a very hard decision today. I would not be keeping any more Shiny Wooper unless they had the absent-minded mark. Now, normally I wouldn't do something like that, but you have to understand I'm on a bit of a time crunch. If this took too long, I would be hunting Girafarig in the terrarium instead. And at the time of recording this, I only had a few more days to get this done. I didn't have enough BP to get the Sparkling Power Sandwich from the Blueberry Academy either at the moment, so I would just set up a sandwich with what I had and reset at the end of my half hour. And before it gets brought up in the comments, yes, I did try the 16 shiny method up on the ledge overlooking the spot, but I wasn't consistently seeing 15 Wooper, which meant I was missing some somewhere that were spawning beyond my line of sight. I was determined to find this Wooper today. Before the weekend was over, I would have it, so I locked in. After 10 hours and 21 minutes of recording time, I had found my grail, a Shiny Wooper with the absent-minded mark. I would like to first say I'm a little embarrassed that I thought this would be easy. I only did the math afterwards to figure out how many Wooper it would take to get the mark, and it was a lot more than I thought beforehand. I was a little misled by myself. After 18 total shinies and a grand total of 5 of them not being Wooper, I was relieved to be done with this hunt. And to answer the glaring question you're probably asking, I am not hunting for Girafarig. That doesn't mean I'm done hunting for shiny Pokemon from these boosted outbreaks. Far from it, actually. I would definitely like to do one of these hunts again in the future. I just have something else planned for our Quagsire that might take precedence. I took some time to give Dora some training, and by that I mean a lot of steroids, like so many. And then I went to go get its Terra type changed to Ice, all for one very important task.